Hey friends, welcome back to Mrs. K's Kitchen. I'm Mrs. K. This is my kitchen and you are here today to make something with me that starts with the letter C. Can you think of anything that starts with the letter C that we might be able to make? Let me give you a hint. These are sweet. Some people put raisins or chocolate chips in them. And some people like to dip them in milk when they eat them. Do you know what we're making that starts with C? Today we're gonna make cookies. Do you like cookies? I like to consider myself a cookie monster. Well, if you like cookies, come on into my kitchen and let's start baking. The first thing we need to do is preheat our oven to 375 degrees. Now that it says pre, we know that it's getting started and it's heating up. So it is gonna get hot while we are prepping all the ingredients. So far, Mrs. K has added to this big baking bowl a stick of soft butter, some salt, some brown sugar, and some white sugar. We are also gonna add a little bit of baking soda, about a teaspoon of baking soda. And I don't know if anybody has ever made cookies at home, but one thing that makes your cookies taste so delicious is vanilla. Do you have any vanilla at your house? It's a brown liquid. It doesn't look very tasty, and I promise you it doesn't taste very good, but if you smell it, oh, it smells so delicious. Now we are going to pick up our mixing bowl and take it over to our pretty blue mixer. And we are going to turn on our mixer and start creaming up that butter and that sugar till it's nice and creamy. It's gonna take us a little bit, so we'll come back to it in a few minutes. We are also going to add to our mix of sugars and butter, we're gonna add 2 eggs. That's gonna get it really nice and creamy in here. It'll give it some liquid, but I want to remind everybody at home, once you add the eggs to your cookie dough, you can't eat it without cooking it anymore. So if you're somebody who really likes to lick the bowl or take a spoonful of cookie dough out of the bowl while you're baking, you have to do it before you add the eggs, or else you can get really sick. Eggs can sometimes give you a sickness called salmonella, and that's only if you eat them raw without cooking them. So once you crack them into your cookies and you bake them in the oven, you will be just fine to eat them. It'll be nice and safe. And now we are ready to start adding our flour, and you're gonna notice when we add it, it's gonna really thicken up our cookie dough. We're gonna add about 2.5 cups of flour to our cookie dough. Here we go. Watch that cookie dough get thicker and thicker as it mixes up that flour. Do you see our dough start to get thicker? Cup number 2. That dough is going to get nice and thick. And of course, the last thing we are going to mix in before we roll these cookies into balls and put them in the oven, chocolate chips. So next, I'm going to take a spoon and I'm going to scoop some of that cookie dough onto my spoon and then take it right into my hands, and we're just going to roll it like a ball so that you get a pretty little cookie dough ball. And then we are gonna take those cookie dough balls and we are gonna line them up across a baking sheet to get them ready to go in the oven. I like to put a little bit of grease or butter on my baking sheet so that my cookies don't stick to the pan. And let's check out these cookie dough balls. Ooh, look at our cookie dough balls. They look delicious. They are ready to go into the oven. But wait, Mrs. K, should a kid ever go near a hot oven by themselves without an adult? Why no, Mrs. K, I am so glad you asked. A kid should never go near an oven without an adult. Thank you, Mrs. K. You're welcome, Mrs. K. Okay, opened up the very, very hot oven. And we are going to carefully slide our cookies in and close that door. Mrs. K is going to set a timer for about 13 minutes. And we are going to bake those cookies. And we will check in on them in just a few minutes. Here's our check-in at about 9 minutes. Our cookies are starting to flatten out and get puffy. I cannot wait to eat them. Thank you so much for making cookies with me today. Mrs. K is really happy we made cookies together. And come back next time to make some more things with Mrs. K in her kitchen. You never know what we're gonna make next. See you later and keep cooking.